Hi, welcome to another video, and I guess you can file this one under the random language learning experiences banner because I want to tell you exactly how my passion for learning languages was born. And you'd be surprised to hear this, that it all started with a clickbait. That's right, clickbait before the internet. Well, I'm not even sure that the word clickbait would be the accurate word here, but let me tell you the story and then let's try to invent a word for it. This was back in 1994, and I was in school at that time. I was in 8th grade, I remember, and I used to go to the library a lot. I was the bookworm of our class, and I was just looking for books and stuff, and suddenly I saw a book in one of the shelves. And I still remember it was from Hugo's. That was a company. I believe it was bought out by DK later, Dollings and Kinderley. I think that's the name now. Kindersley, something like that. At that time it was Hugo's. And the name of the book was Hugo's Learn German in 3 Months. Something like that. Definitely it said 3 months. And I remember I was fascinated. I was like, wow, really? Can I learn a language from zero? Like in just 3 months? That's amazing. Spoiler alert, no, you cannot do that. And I have a whole video about this, like how long it takes a video and I have another one which talks about what does it mean to be proficient in a language. So if you're interested, you can check them out. Yeah, going back to the story, I was fascinated and I borrowed the book from the library. And in the beginning, I had no idea. It was just your typical old school language learning book. It was published like not even in the 90s, like much before that, in the 80s or before that. I don't remember, 70s, whatever. And it just had like those decontextualized sentences, and then you had the English translation. I don't even remember exactly the format and everything, but I just do remember that it was your typical language learning book from those days with those sentences and all that. And there was no audio cassette, and obviously CDs and that stuff. That stuff was not very common, if they even existed back then. When the book was published, originally, that is. So I had a lot of fun with it. I learned some basic German. So just I was able to say some sentences, and that from that time on, I was always fascinated by the idea of learning languages. I bought many books, like CDs and whatnot, audio cassettes and everything. It wasn't until 2017 that I was actually able to make real progress, which is another fascinating topic. I'm going to make a video on that, which is going to address both of these things. There is a concept in language learning of the please, I hope I don't forget it, critical age hypothesis or critical period hypothesis. Yeah. So which means that there's a critical time in a person's life when that person can learn a language. And usually they say it's in childhood or whatever, up until the age of 10, 11, 12, something like that. And how like accurate that is, and to what extent one can attribute language learning to age and all that kind of stuff. I believe mine is an interesting case because I am among those people, and there are a lot of people around who start learning languages when they're much older. I started learning when I was 36 or something, 37. Okay. You can argue that the first time I started was back in 1994, but I never really continued. I never made any steady progress. It wasn't until 2017 that I actually started learning full time and everything. And now I'm able to have conversations in those languages. In the case of French, I've actually passed exams for French twice. One time was a full proficiency test for listening, speaking, reading, writing. In reading, in fact, I got like a full perfect score, which I've been led to believe is not even achievable for many native speakers. For the rest of the skills, I got B2. And then later, also for a different purpose, I was interviewed in French, where I had to prove my proficiency in French. And it was a very, very grueling, real job interview, all of it in French. Can you imagine? And even there, you know, like I got a high grade there. So yeah, I have made progress, and all of this was in my late 30s and now in my 40s. So yeah, it all started with a clickbait. What can we call that? A book clickbait? Bookbait? Yeah, let me know if you can come up with a word. If I like something, one of your suggestions, I might even like edit the title of the video and add that over there. Thank you very much. That's all for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.